Hello my lovelies and welcome back to a new video. Just a quick announcement before I tell you more about this painting. I've recently reopened my Patreon page and for $1 a month you'll get high resolution files of my paintings, line art for coloring and more. I'll leave you a link to my page in the description box below. But now let's dive into this painting. I've recently started experimenting with a more dramatic lighting in my watercolor paintings. And who's better to use as a subject than one of my favorite vampires, Graf von Krolock from the musical Tanz der Vampire. He's always good for making a dramatic entrance. So as you can see, I've started with the background on this piece first, which is kind of unusual, and I'm using quite a lot of layers to get the effect down. Once I was happy with the background, I started painting the main character, and I've been using quite a lot of layers of very light washes, as you can see. And if one thing I've learned from this painting, it's patience. A lot of patience was needed for this to be finished. I've painted this mostly in different sections because the different parts needed to dry completely before I could add another layer of color to it. I've been using a wet on wet technique to ensure subtle gradients throughout the painting, but the downside of it was that it took a lot of time for the painting to dry. And since I don't have any helpers for drying, like a blow dryer or a heat gun or something like that, I had to wait quite a lot. And that's why this painting has taken me almost 2 weeks on and off to complete. As you can see now, I'm adding a little bit of blue to the painting to have at least a bit of color other than grays and blacks. And this part is what I like to call the ugly stage of the painting, because you add a layer and another layer and you're getting streaks in some places and it just doesn't look too good. And yes, I've added in some gold for his eyes because they need to glow, they need to pop. And I so wish that it would be possible to see something like this on stage, but we don't have glowing contact lenses, I guess. And I imagine it would be quite uncomfortable for the actors to act with contact lenses. So this could be made possible in a movie remake or something. I would love to see this. But let's get back to the painting. I'm just adding more layers of watercolor washes to darken and deepen the colors of the entire painting. Every time, section by section, so it won't bleed, the color won't bleed into each other and it would turn mushy if it did. And I'm also adding a little bit of blue to his vest to have some different color again in this painting. If you think this is quite tedious, then you would be very right. It was tedious and I've lost focus and patience so many times while doing this. I even debated if I just don't finish it at all, because it was boring to add layers and layers of color and not see that much progress over time, because the washes have been so very light. And yeah, so this happens to me quite a lot, to be honest, because I do use light washes and it really does take time, but I think in the end you just need to push through if you really like this piece, like I did with this one, and yeah, you get to the results you want if you just have patience. So I wasn't really sure if I wanted to turn his coat red, like the one he's wearing just once during the entire show, and yes, I did, because I just love the red coat and it is such a nice contrast to all the blacks and grays and blues, so I just couldn't resist and I added in some red, as you can see. And if you're wondering why the hell he is wearing a red coat, doesn't he usually wear black? Yes, in the German version he only wears black, but this is the costume from the Vienna version, which I like so much better than the German one, and there he's wearing this red coat. At this point I'm almost done with the painting, just adding more and more black, and as you can see the details get obscured, but that's just how it is. I had the feeling that I needed to turn this painting darker and darker to add to the contrast of his face and the background. At this point there's not much left to do. I'm starting to add some details to his hair and to the eyes with white ink, and then yeah, I'm almost done, just deepening some of the shadows and adding back in some of the details that got lost, like the embroidery on his coat and on his cape, and then I'm almost done. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm planning to release more videos in the future, and supporters on Patreon will get a high resolution scan of this painting as well as line art for coloring practice this month. Sign up today to get the May package. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching again and see you in the next one. Bye!